Hello IP4, welcome to week 4 of our online video lessons, and this is now our 10th lesson online. So today we are going to continue talking about chapter 6, pronouns, and we're going to be moving on to lesson 4 of this chapter. Before we carry on with the rest of the chapter, we're going to check the homework from the second lesson on Friday. So you should have already done this workbook page. So please get your workbooks ready to check Friday's homework. Okay, IP4, on Friday, your second piece of homework was to do this, workbook page 98. And on Friday, we were talking about object pronouns. So section A, all we had to do was read the sentence and find the object pronoun. So number 1, I asked Jill to show Russell and me a writer's office. The object pronoun is me. I is a subject pronoun. Number 2, Jill showed us the desk and the computer. The object pronoun is us. Number 3, a history book was on the desk. Jill had written it. The object pronoun is it. Remember, it and you can be subject or object pronouns. Number 4, Jill said, I will tell you how school books are made. Again, you is the object pronoun, I is being used as a subject pronoun. You comes after the verb tell. Number 5, writers write the books, editors correct them. The object pronoun is them. And number 6, we listened carefully to her. The object pronoun is her. Again, we is a subject pronoun. So please give yourselves a score out of 6 for section A. Section B was a bit more difficult. We had 6 sentences. We had to look at the underlined noun or nouns, and we had to give an object pronoun. So number 7, Jill introduced Russell and me to Frank Silvio. Russell and me is us, because it includes me, you say us. Number 8, Frank is an artist who works with Jill. Jill is a girl's name, so we say her. Number 9, Frank draws maps. We enjoy looking at the maps. For the maps, we say them, it's plural. Number 10, we asked Frank many questions about this work. Frank is a boy's name, so we say him. Number 11, he said, I have to be very careful with the drawings. The drawings can be replaced with the pronoun them. And number 12, Frank gave Russell a drawing. We liked the drawing. We replaced the drawing with the pronoun it, because it is singular and it's a thing. So give yourselves a score out of 6 for section B and a total out of 12. I hope you're all getting at least 8 or 9 out of 12 there. Okay, this is now lesson 4, and we're going to look in more detail at the pronouns I and me. So these are things that you've seen before. On Friday, we talked about subject and object pronouns, but now we're going to look in more detail at these particular pronouns that we use to refer to ourselves, because people often make mistakes using I and me correctly. So, we learned last week that the word I is a subject pronoun and the word me is an object pronoun. But the problem is people often get confused about which pronoun to use, especially if they are using the pronoun I or me as part of a subject or part of an object with another noun or with another pronoun. And a good way to fix that mistake is to imagine yourself saying a sentence without the other noun or the other pronoun. So this is something that native speakers of English often get wrong. You'll often hear people who name another person and then name themselves, and they use me instead of I, mistakenly, because they've already used another word as the subject, and so they think that now they are the object and they use me instead of I. So that is incorrect. So it would be wrong for me to say, Tem and me walked to school. You would often hear people say, oh, him and me did this thing, because they've named someone else as the subject, so now they think they should use me because it's later on in the sentence, but it is incorrect. So don't say Tem and me walked to school. Imagine yourself saying, without Tem and, without the other person, me walked to school. You would not say, me walked to school. You would say, I walked to school. So that tells you that you shouldn't be using the pronoun me, you should be using the pronoun I. So I would say, Tem and I walked to school. Same with an object pronoun. So Nunam was talking to Damon and I. Again, people often make this mistake and say Damon and I, the person and I. But this is after the verb talking. Remember, we use object pronouns after action verbs. I would not say Nunam was talking to I. I would say Nunam was talking to me. And so that means if I'm using myself with another person, I wouldn't say Nunam was talking to Damon and I would say Nunam was talking to Damon and me. Another important thing to remember, and I did talk about this last year in IP3, is that when you use the pronouns I or me, you always should name yourself last. So if you're using yourself with one other person or with a group of other people, the pronoun I or the pronoun me comes last. So you would not say I and Nana were playing with a Tomy. You would say Nana and I were playing with a Tomy. So you've got two people in the group, Nana and then myself, and so I name myself second. Nana and I were playing with a Tomy. When I say that, I mean in the subject. You don't name yourself last in the whole sentence because a Tomy is being used as the object pronoun. But in this subject, Nana and I name myself last. And again, for the object pronoun, the puppy was following T, me, and Shinto. I've got a group with 3 people, but I've put myself in the middle here, which again is incorrect. You always name yourself last. So the puppy was following T, Shinto, and me. So let's look at some questions now, please. So please open your textbook to page 212. And we're going to look at questions 1 to 8, which are at the bottom of page 212. So number 1, Reggie invited me and Jen, or Jen and me, to his house. You need to choose the correct words to complete the sentence. So circle or underline the correct words from the parentheses. As usual, if you do not have your textbook, you need to pause the video and write the answers on some paper. If you do have your textbook, do it in your textbook. When I say to pause the video, please pause and do not press play until you have answered questions 1 to 8. Okay, please pause now. Okay, have you finished? If you have finished up to question 8, you can keep listening for the answers. Number 1, Reggie invited Jen and me to his house. You name yourself last. Number 2, Jen and I walked home with Reggie. Again, name yourself last. Number 3, Reggie talked to Jen and me about Barbados. Again, name yourself last. Number 4, Jen and I were very interested. This is the subject of the sentence, comes before the verb were, and so we need to say I, not me. Number 5, Jen and I ate with Reggie's family. Again, it's going before the action verb ate, it's the subject of the sentence, so we use I. Number 6, the food tasted wonderful to Jen and me. We've got the verb tasted, so we use the object pronoun me after the action verb. Number 7, Jen and I had never eaten a roti before. Again, name yourself last. And number 8, a roti is a curried meat pie. Both Jen and I liked it immensely. So that was quite easy, questions 1 to 8. Most of them, it was just a case of making sure that the pronoun I or the pronoun me came last. It was only questions 4 and 5 where you needed to use a subject or object pronoun. So give yourselves a score out of 8, and I hope you all got 8 out of 8. 7 out of 8 is okay. If you're getting 6 or 5, you need to do a little bit better. Okay, let's look on the next page now, page 213, and look at questions 9 to 14. Again, same type of questions. Read the sentence, look at the words inside the parentheses, and choose the correct words to complete the sentence. As usual, write in your textbook or on paper if you do not have your textbook. So please pause the video and press play when you've finished. Please pause now. Okay, have you finished up to number 14? If you're finished, keep watching for the answers. Number 9, Scott came with my family and me. Name yourself last. Number 10, Scott and I sat together on the plane. We need I and not me because it's the subject of the sentence. Number 11, Scott and I became friends with Michiko. Again, name yourself last. Number 12, she took Scott and me on a tour. We need the object pronoun because it comes after the action verb took. Number 13, he and I learned about the capital city, Tokyo. Again, we use subject pronoun before the verb. And number 14, Michiko taught Scott and me Japanese words. We use the object pronoun me after the action verb. So give yourselves a score out of 6 and a total out of 14. So I hope you're all getting at least 11 or 12 out of 14. Okay, your homework for this lesson is workbook page 102. Make sure you finish workbook page 102 before you watch the next lesson, which will be lesson 119 on Friday the 5th of February. As usual, I'm going to explain the homework before we finish. Okay, IP4, this is your homework for today's lesson, workbook page 102. So section A is very much like the work we've just done in the textbook. You have 4 sentences. In each sentence, there are 2 sets of words inside the parentheses. You have to write the sentence again using the correct words. In section B, there are 6 mistakes using I and me. So you need to read this paragraph, look carefully whenever you see the words I or me, and then choose the correct way to write it. Okay, IP4, that is the end of this lesson. So like I told you, make sure you finish that workbook page before Friday. And until then, thank you, IP4. Bye-bye.